Okay, I am live. And Polska Bob, I am an untrained professional on this one, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Oh, good evening and happy Monday. I hope everybody had a somewhat, hopefully, uneventful weekend. We'll be talking a bunch of stuff about, well, we all know what happened down there in Atlanta and all that. So we'll be covering just a little bit of that and a couple other little stories that I feel got swept under the rug. And if anyone else has any other stories they think that got ignored, let me know. And tonight, of course, we have, I would say, the unofficial co-host of the Waffle World is MGTOW Mando.
How you all doing?
Good. And we have an Instagram buddy of mine on the stream as well tonight, too. So everyone, please welcome Synergy.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Just to give everybody a little background on Synergy, me and him have been, well, brothers from other mothers for what, 4 years now? 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5
man.
years. So
we've been kicking it for a minute.
Look up, we do live streams on Instagram and all that too. So, but well, I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right in on it. So find the one I want to start. So just so that everybody knows, of course, well, let's just say, of course, this is an old story. This one's from a few days ago. Of course, these are the first arrests that I've heard about following the shooting in Atlanta in the autonomous zone. So,
why do we have Batman characters on here? I mean, like, really? They always look like comic book reject. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're all right. But this one right up here in the top right, let me see if this article has the information that I found.
Doesn't one of these individuals belong to the alphabet soup community?
I'm sure they all.
I'm pretty sure they all do. But these two right here, this nice selfie on the yacht.
Who's Hannibal Lecter over there? The balding Hannibal Lecter. Who's that?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say because they go by multiple names and
hello Chloe.
Pronouns and all that.
What?
But basically these two, they're assumed as a couple based off of social media posts and whatnot. And apparently, Mr. Hannibal Lecter here, who's like 20 something, 31. I'm guessing 31, but he looks like he's 71. Apparently his daddy is well off for himself. So it's not looking good for him because I don't know why it's all these rich people with kids. Like here's another set, of course. And then of course they're using good old Give Send Go or not Give Send Go, but GoFundMe to raise their bail money and whatnot. So that's I don't get it. So you have all these rich, well-off people that are crossing state lines with guns and explosives and I would say boredom-driven motivation, if that makes any kind of sense, to be a part of AuntQueefa for some reason. And all just because they don't want a police training facility to be built, but yet they're bitching about police not being properly trained.
Well, you gotta remember something, Jimmy. These individuals who, as Synergy pointed out, look like comic book rejects. I personally think they look like extras from the old G.I. Joe comics.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, they're rich kids who have never been held accountable for jack in their lives. And they think because they've got all these funds available to their families that they're somehow qualified to talk about social issues, and when people don't listen to them, they effectively throw a temper tantrum.
And
Unfortunately, their
you
their
get
temper
this.
tantrum can cost several $1 million.
$2 billion on the low end in 2020.
I was mainly just talking per incident.
Yeah, that's pretty close. But of course, as we know, on the 18th, Manuel Esteban Paez Terran of Tallahassee, Florida, who crossed state lines with a pistol and shot at cops. But then again, I'm also not going to take the cops' word that they shot first, but I'm going to assume that it's Antifa, so they're probably going to be shooting first. They basically went around and smashed up Atlanta, downtown Atlanta. Did that. Explosives. They set a police cruiser on fire with news outlets out there saying, "Here we go again. It's peaceful. It's peaceful." There's a fucking cop car that's burning in the background. Don't give me that shit anymore.
All of this stuff with the media reminds me of a certain event from the early 2000s. Something about American tanks in a desert country that allegedly weren't there, but you could see it in the background of the press conference. Synergy, any idea what that incident was? Because the name of the jackass or the dingleberry who was saying it escapes me.
Man, that was so okay. Are we talking George Bush?
Well, it was during his presidency, but it wasn't on American territory. I want to say it was someone named Bob from Baghdad, or at least that was the American nickname for the guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yep,
Baghdad Bob, that name.
Yeah.
For some reason, I get mental imagery of that guy's press conferences when we're talking about this topic.
Yeah.
Any idea why that would be? Because I'm drawing a blank.
Don't draw a blank. Same people.
Yep.
We'll just
assume. But yeah, let's just scroll down some mug shots here. So here's all.
Man, this dude looks dirty. This dude is just dirty. He is not a clean person. He hasn't showered in a month, has he?
22 of Maine. He looks like he's 42.
Well, okay, if he's a member of a certain organization that may or may not be peaceful but fiery protester,
this is the guy I was talking about. Yeah. Francis Carroll is the son of a yacht-selling multimillionaire family. And this is what happens when you don't discipline your kids when they're young, send them off to college to be indoctrinated, and then they have all the funds in the world from daddy to go and cause mayhem.
Man, you sound like you're talking about white privilege.
I would say it's more institutional privilege.
No, I would say it's white privilege, because Antifa is mainly filled of white people.
Yeah,
and
I'm not gonna get a denial there.
Yeah. Then you got this
lovely specimen, this Venus
thing.
Yeah, that's the one that I read about earlier today. That follows a certain community.
Yeah, Spokane, Washington. So this thing,
individual.
Yeah, let's just go with individual.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what gas prices are up in Spokane. I imagine they're roughly about the same as where they're at here, even though they're going up. So you're talking 3-day trip if they're driving, of course, but they probably are, because they don't want a paper trail for flying. They're somehow making it all the way across the country and causing mayhem, doing terrorism. You think the FBI would be on that?
You would think so.
Crazy eyes. Would you agree, Nando?
Yes.
Crazy eyes.
Yes, the Manson eyes.
She's got a little bit of AOC flavor with her eyes going on there.
Oh God, no! You need the make pop puke lump of vomit sound effect there.
And then, oh God, he seems proud of himself.
Oh, he's definitely Charlie. He's
I wonder what
definitely
he
Charlie
did.
Manson.
Yep.
I'm definitely picking up some early Charlie Manson vibes off of him.
Yep. So we got Ivan James Ferguson, 23 of Henderson, Nevada.
Okay, I'm gonna be
Again.
honest. With a face like that, I figured he was from somewhere in my general neck of the woods, because that's meth mouth right there.
That's meth and dicks, bro. Meth and dicks. That's basically how you can pretty much explain Antifa. Meth and dicks.
All I'm hearing is Charlie Manson at his parole hearing talking about, when I get out of here, and I'm going to get out of here, I'm going to kill everybody because the world needs to burn, and all of you all need to burn. That's all I hear. That's all I'm hearing in my head.
Yeah,
right
I can see that from that picture.
Oh,
there's the police during the peaceful protests, and an Atlanta cruiser was set on fire with an explosive. So
probably a Molotov cocktail from the way that vehicle burned down, because that's an SUV.
Yep. Well, that's
and I'm
usually.
Can you scroll back up to that for half a second?
Oh, yep. Let me bring that back up.
I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark. If that vehicle's what I think it is, that looks like it's an SUV. I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark and say that was probably a canine unit.
Let's see if we can
You
get a better look.
Zoom in. No, looks like
it was definitely an SUV, because I saw the video of it. I actually might even.
I've
actually got it pulled up.
It's a standard. It's not a canine unit.
Okay,
it has it on the back. It would have it on the back and on the bottom bumper.
Okay, I was just assuming, given the design, or given that most law enforcement agencies I've had the pleasure of dealing with over the years use SUVs for their canines.
Yeah, they do.
Because they want to have enough room for the puppy to be able to relax on the way to wherever they're going next.
Yep. Yeah, there's also
those canine units or something. I'll tell you. Ooh, you pull up beside one of those, that dog get to jumping, boy. Ooh.
Yep. That's what Donut Operator calls the old bork bork nom nom, flying fur missile. But let's just say it's not just your average millennial-ish, high or low Gen Z. It's not just them. It's not just the son of multimillionaire yacht owners and all this other stuff. We have the son of a Democrat House Minority Whip getting involved.
That's a girl, by the way.
No, this is a man.
Okay. All right.
That's a man.
Okay. I saw on Timcast today, they were saying daughter on the Daily News or the Daily something.
The Daily Beast.
No, the Daily something. It's another publication. So, I don't really know. We'll just say that individual looks lovely. I will say that.
Yeah. You probably thought it was the daughter because he goes by Riley, apparently.
Well, now that's an insult to Riley Freeman. I'm offended.
That's also an insult to Fort Riley, Kansas.
Yeah. So, but this is where the confusion comes in. Last night, my daughter was arrested in Boston, Massachusetts. I love Riley. This is a difficult time of joy and pain and parenting. And you know what? Do you know what their punishment was? Let me see if it has it in here.
Probably community service.
Well,
released. I saw it was he was released on $500 bond.
Yep, sounds about right.
For graffitiing and attacking a police officer.
Sounds about right.
I'm pretty assaulting a police while resisting arrest is a felony.
Yeah, but you know,
When you're go on. I think we're about to say the same darn thing.
well, when you're, when you're related to someone that high up, then you know,
Yeah. But you would think
privilege.
being a child of the Democrat
That
House
is
Minority Whip would
your
oh,
man. You thinking too much, and you stop thinking. You doing don't make me go bias on you, okay? Okay, don't make me go to
we don't
bias
need
on
that.
you.
We don't need that now.
Come on now. You thinking too much. You can't be doing all that thinking now. You got to cut
Right.
out all that thinking. You
Hang on,
doing too
Synergy.
much.
Are you accusing Jimmy of doing Mark II thinking with a Mark I brain?
I'm just accusing him of thinking. Period. You know that's a crime around here. You can't do thinking.
Yeah, can't be doing
No,
that. What am I?
no.
What am I
You can
thinking?
think.
Trying to think.
You can think. It just has to be the approved thoughts.
Yep.
Well,
And
mean,
I don't mean the ones that Pop shows on Thursdays.
Not those kind of thoughts.
Hey, someone's got to get some laughter in here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we'll get some laughter. We'll get some laughter here going after a while after we get
Needs
these.
is a sound. Needs is a sound.
That's what everybody keeps telling me. I'll be getting a soundboard but I've got some memes queued up here, so we'll be ending the show with some laughs here. But hopefully this guy here does some of the thinking that we're about thinking. This is in Oregon. Georgia AG promises Atlanta Antifa domestic terrorists will be held accountable. This is in Oregon. We're not in Washington. We're not in California or New York. If you come here and commit violent acts against our citizens, against law enforcement officers, we're going to hold you accountable. Well, after seeing everything, that does go on in those. I'm just going to say it. Democrat ran shitholes with George Soros appointed DAs. I'm not going to hold my breath, but let's hope it does happen.
You shouldn't. I mean, it's not. You should just expect that they're going to walk. You shouldn't even expect anything. And so it's, well, that's so black pill. That's demoralized. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, no. At this point, you should already know what the DAC is stacked, and you shouldn't even get upset. Recognize that it's wrong. Tell those who will listen, but you understand that they gonna get away with it for a while, but I'm not gonna wax too religious on here, but
I did see this video earlier, and it was quite actually hilarious.
Are you sure you want to try playing it on YouTube?
Are you okay?
It's nothing. Just being arrested and taken away. Can't breathe. Yeah, that's pretty much the new excuse whenever.
Okay, wasn't there some girl in Washington D.C. who was being arrested and was yelling that she had been murdered?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
At what point are we justified on giving up in faith in humanity?
You did.
Well, certain aspects.
It's very bold of you to assume that I still have faith in humanity, there, sir.
I was talking about for myself.
True.
Because I'm not going to make any assumptions on your case, Jimmy.
Nope.
And Synergy, I don't even know you, so I'm definitely not making any assumptions.
But yeah, just some more articles that I found. Just typing in just Antifa violence or Antifa whatever. apparently destroying some stuff at Bank of America, which I don't think that they got the memo, but Bank of America is going woke and all that other crap.
Yeah, isn't Bank of America allied with these psychos?
Something like that, yeah. Sunday morning, Windows, Bank of America, blah, blah, blah. Boarded up, sprayed with Stop Cop City, blah, blah, blah. No entry to the bank, no entry into the bank, which makes no fucking sense because if you're going to destroy something in the bank, wouldn't you want to go in there and take something, allegedly? But
Hey, you didn't say it right. It's allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay, hang on. Let me give a hypothetical here. You might want to get tinfoil hats ready. Could they have been doing that to Bank of America to make it look like they were targeting them? And that's why they didn't go inside.
That's always a possibility. My kufi's on tight for all kinds of ideas, let's say. All kinds of.
That reminds me, I still need to make my tinfoil kufi.
Nah, me too. I need to make mine too.
Hey, that's why I'm glad I found some Beskar.
There you go. But yeah, it was just something else I found interesting, because I don't know why. Well, of course I know why, because they have nothing better to do, and they are a bunch of screaming crybabies where they just want to get rid of all the cops. Well, you know what? I'm just about ready to the point to say, your wish is my command.
Now
I will get rid of all of the cops, but just remember, the police are the only thing stopping people like me, people like yourself, Mando, and people like Synergy from getting the justice because the justice system isn't getting the justice we want.
Now, I'm going to ask the two of you a question. Have either of you ever had the misfortune of dealing directly with AuntQueefa?
No.
In a roundabout way.
Okay.
I'm on some lives on Instagram, and there's a guy who claims to be in that group, and so he comes in from time to time and whatnot. He looks like he looks like Owen Benjamin, but not as
Talk about our old buddy Corey.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say his name. I wasn't gonna try and make him famous. But
we'll just call him Corey.
Okay.
But yeah, he's let's just say he's a special guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I bring this up because a few years ago, when the predecessor to the current occupant of the White House was in the town I live in for a rally, I was in line to go and see that individual in person, because why not? And a group of AuntQueefa morons were wandering around, yelling, carrying on, basically being themselves. And this was pre-Coof, so I looked at him and go, hey, take the mask off. Cobra Commander wants to know who he's having working for him. And one of them was actually old enough that he understood what I was saying and goes, what do you mean? Like, oh, it's really quite simple. Zaymot and Tomax are on the other end of the country. They probably want to know where their money is being spent.
Wow.
Now, have you ever seen one of these guys deflate visibly?
No, but I can imagine what he did. His whole brain shattered in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Basically, this guy went from being a basketball player build to looking like a deflated inflatable entertainment device.
Wow.
A deflated wacky waving arm, flailing arm 2-man.
You know what to do when you did that.
Exactly. Well, they're so used to people backing down when they start their BS that when you throw it back in their face and don't throw hands, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, you shattered this. See, I want to say something. but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna try and keep. I want Jimmy to stay online.
Well, that's why I'm talking around some of the words I want to use, because there's a lot more colorful verbiage I want to use.
Let's just put it this way: you went full butterfly in the sky on him, and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I broke his brain.
Yeah.
Not that there was really much to break in the first place, but
well, with whatever was there, you went butterfly in the sky, and it was just like, ah!
Oh, the really funny thing is, a few of the guys on either side of me in the line, they got what I was doing, and they started co-signing on this dude. Because one of them goes, "Hey, I heard Duke is a little further down the line. He might want to have a chat with you, and he's not as nice as this guy is."
Ooh, ooh,
those two little morons, they ran off so quick. They may as well have developed faster than light travel.
Yeah.
See, that's glorious.
That's one thing I have started to notice, because at first I was just like, you know what, just take a baseball bat, allegedly, to him on site. And then I got to thinking, I was like, no, let's just mess with their tiny little microscopic smooth brain, and let's just shatter their entire reality.
Okay, I'm gonna
then take a baseball bat to them. Allegedly.
Because we're talking about breaking people's brains a little bit here.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So Jimmy knows these individuals very well. They're we'll just call them the how do I want to put this? I don't want to make these people famous. There's a particular crew that are very liberal. Well, you will say that Jimmy's had the pleasure of dealing with, and I currently deal with them. And so I know that they're not. They do not like white people. So I don't know if you can see who is. Can you see who's in the chat, Jimmy?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. So everybody's gonna have these different screen names. Well, let me just put it this way. And I don't know, Jimmy, you can cut this part out when you put it on when you repost it.
It's going. It's going.
Oh man. I hate to lay out my plan like this. But anywho, so they're not the biggest fans of white people. So what I have decided to do is do the Undercover Brother rotation, if you're familiar with that movie.
Yep.
And I've just been inundating them with you all's best models. Let's just put it that way. And and they're just like, rah! Rah! And I'm like, oh, y'all don't like that. Let me find another and another and another.
You're going to get him with that white she-devil eventually.
Yes, there you go. There you go. There you go. Top tier. Only top tier, man. You know, only top tier. That's
honestly, have you ever seen Police Academy?
Yes, all 6 of them.
Blue Oyster, these people.
Okay. All right. I think I can come up with a way of Blue Oystering them. I think I can come up with a way of doing that.
You said you're in Atlanta, correct?
No. I'm in Alabama.
Okay, my apologies. So, let's see. What are the big cities in Alabama that are near where these people are?
Well, they're all over. They're not necessarily close to.
Yeah, this has been a whole Instagram beef back and forth because it's been war, and I was the one. I was like, you know what? I'm diving headfirst into the front lines. I want to be in the trenches. I want to be in the shit. And I got a little in too deep in the shit, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna back out of here because these fools. I've basically stated that these people are completely insane. They are not on my intellectual level to have a civil conversation. And frankly, I don't give a fuck anymore.
So, are you basically saying that they're the lowest tier of a certain racist party from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that used to walk around carrying M60s?
Yeah,
Synergy,
but
you might know who the group I'm talking about while China's talking circles about them.
I know who you're talking about, but yes, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Yes.
Okay.
it's-
But
let-
they favor me as far as in skin tone and complexion. Yes.
Okay.
yeah, let's just say I'm on the Philly Conservatives Instagram page right now, and Philly Conservative, he's a good dude and whatnot. Let me just bring this up.
You should send him a StreamYard thing and see if he can come up.
You know what? That's a good idea. I'll just
See
do
if
that.
he's even available at this point. He might come on because another military guy is up there, and he's a former military guy like
Yeah,
yourself.
that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh. So, in other words, between the four of us, we could come up with all sorts of ways to mind job these people.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Philly he's more of a kick the door in and put it in your face kind of guy.
He was a
But
Marine.
he's yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's more of the literal direct action sort. I've got my history's chemical warfare and medical, so I'm gonna mind job you before I'm gonna start breaking out my actual skill set. Because if I break out my actual skill set, yeah, certain organizations that none of us want to talk about would get involved.
Okay, well, we won't talk about that. We won't put you on blast like that.
Let's not.
But yeah, we won't do that. You're turning out to be a pretty cool guy, Mando. Now I'm noticing.
I try to be.
Now I'm seeing the MGTOW situation, so I'm guessing you're part of the white version of the manosphere. I'm over here, former Kevin Samuels fan. I don't know if you know who he is, but
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm thinking we're on the same vein when it comes to the how to deal with the women these days. The modern woman. Yes.
Yep.
Do not engage. Do not collect $200, and whatever you do, keep them at least 350 meters direct line of sight.
So in other words, what you're saying is you don't want to have a Tim Allen, Pamela Anderson rotation.
No. Jimmy knows the story about my most recent ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
But
Okay.
before I ended things in that relationship, I was definitely what would be classifiable as purple pill.
Oh, okay.
But some of the nonsense she pulled on me and the way that relationship ended put me firmly in the red pill category. And it's one of these things where I would still love the opportunity to have a spouse and have a family. But as things stand, ladies here in North America, if we're dating, they're going through the world's longest job interview.
Well,
and I have a rule. They test me once, they failed.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind. I see. I see where you're going with that. See, now the only reason why I brought up the Tim Allen, Pamela Anderson situation is because I was listening to Yellow Flash talk about it today, and then I saw some other people talking about it on the YouTubes, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, you're 55, you aged out. Tim Allen is in his late 60s, maybe early 70s, but he still has a career, and you're trying to nuke his career because back in 93, almost 30 years ago, you're claiming that he flashed you or something like that. I ain't buying it. That's just me. I ain't really buying that.
Now,
You
are we
know,
talking about the same Tim Allen who used to star on Home Improvement
yes.
and who Disney has had spats with because the guy is a strong Christian conservative and doesn't exactly want to play by rules that Disney thinks is appropriate anymore?
Yeah, these days, yes.
Okay. Let's put that in the category of things I wouldn't buy for a penny category.
Things I wouldn't buy if it was free.
Because honestly, I
See, I'm
don't.
gonna.
I honestly don't see Tim Allen flashing anybody. Now, that's not to say that when he was younger he didn't do stupid nonsense like that, but I'm not buying it.
I mean, I'm just looking at that and I'm going, okay, wait. You went from Baywatch to Tool Time to literally Tool Time with Tommy Lee from freaking Motley
Motley
Crue. Don't tell
Crue.
me what Nikki Sixx and the rest of them did to you. So, like, what, like, don't miss me with that. Miss me with all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Not even,
Yeah, she has the gall to make that accusation when she literally posed for Playboy.
multiple times.
Multiple. How many times was she Playmate of the Year?
Oh man,
too many to think about.
See, now I think of Pam Anderson. I can only think of her modern day and just, ugh. It makes me want to drink.
I'm just like, you're almost 60 and you coming out with this now?
Well, let's see. There's a certain movement that started about 5, 6, maybe 8 years ago.
I know the Me Too movement. I know. I understand. But it's real shaky, man. It's so, I mean, because she's writing a book. It's her memoirs. So, she's going to be telling everybody about all the fun stuff that Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx and the rest of them dudes did to her. And she was a willing participant in. Those guys will be fine, by the way. Those guys will be okay. But Tim Allen, he's got to go.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't play by the Holly weird rules currently. He doesn't do all the nonsense little games that Disney and the rest of Hollywood want to get everyone to do. Last I heard, I don't think he's ever actually made a definitive statement one way or the other where he stands on the alphabet soup community. And honestly, from what I understand, him, Chuck Norris, and Kevin Sorbo, 3 individuals that were kind of childhood heroes for me for different reasons, they're all basically like, yeah, that's not anything we want to talk about. Let's get on to things that actually pertain to what we do.
I could see those 3 guys once this whole Daily Wire business works itself out. I could see those 3 guys going over to the Daily Wire and helping out with some stuff from a production and television show type of thing. I could now that would cause a lot of reeing and screaming to see like Gina Carano in a show with like Kevin Sorbo or something like that. The amount of
I would actually pay to see that.
Me too. I would want to either see a show or a movie,
comedy special
or something, and just for added kicks and giggles, right? If you were to do this show, bring on Mike Rowe to do the narration of the
There you
scene
go.
of the show. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Some type of third person type of.
Oh, that would be the most worth watching thing on TV, in my opinion. Simply because so many people would hate it.
3.
Well, okay, you know why Married with Children lasted as long as it did?
Because everybody hated it.
Exactly. It wasn't because the quality was good.
No.
Don't get me wrong. It was one of my favorite comedies growing up. I own season 3 on DVD.
Yeah.
But The reason that show lasted for as long as it did was because this one lady saw an episode of it and utterly spazzed.
Yeah.
And that show is what put early Fox on the map.
Yep. It really did. Fox was like the rule breaking show, was rule breaking channel
Yep.
in a lot
Mhm.
of ways. Now, I mean, like, if you were to, what? That would actually work in my little creative brain over here. You give Tim Allen, Gina Carano as the wife, you make Kevin Sorbo the brother-in-law, and then like you have some kids thrown in there. I don't know who they would be played by, but like you do that whole thing, but then you do the narration and you do that narration thing with Mike Rowe, and you got yourself a banger right there.
You know what would actually be even funnier? Have those individuals do something kind of like the old Candid Camera.
I can see that.
I just go to college campuses, have Gina Carano or Tim Allen present, and just be asking the silliest, most off the wall questions.
I can see that. That would work.
Yeah.
Or
That would work.
Or for example, have Tim Allen go to Harvard and
Right.
be asking just stupid off the wall stuff. And when one of these students starts acting stupid, have Gina Carano come out of a bush somewhere and be like, "You said what? What are you talking about?"
I can see that. Or you could, or like I said, I'm thinking more along the lines of you'd have to have a whole cast of people.
Yeah, well,
but
and that's why I'm thinking more of the prank type show, because
yeah,
Tim Allen started out as a stand-up comic, and if you ever go back on YouTube and look at some of his early
his stuff was wild, boy.
His stuff was absolutely insane when he didn't have a persona to work with.
Right. Yeah.
And Gina Carano, having been MMA before going into acting,
Yeah.
she could easily play the typical comedy straight man to Tim Allen.
Yeah.
And have Micro narrating the overall situation or doing kind of the host type thing.
Yep.
He would bring the
dry humor.
No, that's not the term I'm looking for. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank here. He'd bring the respectability element into it.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs.
Right.
And everyone thinks of him as the conservative version of Dave Ramsey.
That's true.
So have him be present in his typical work attire, talking about whatever's going on, whatever campus or city or whatever they're going to.
Right.
And then cut to the other individuals out on the street doing whatever wacky antics they came up with for that particular episode.
For that particular thing. I can see that.
I personally think that would play into all of their strengths beautifully.
Yeah, that's true. That would actually work. I'm just trying to think of who else you could get involved. Like who else would who has the I'm just trying to think of
who played Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt, that's who it was.
I think he's probably too big of a name at the moment to really be able to be picked up by something like the Daily Wire. Even if he is conservative, he may or may not be willing to take the level of a pay cut that the Daily Wire would end up having to give him with as small of a budget as they currently have.
Well, see,
probably not.
Well, wait, hang on. If you attracted a guy like that, then here's what would happen. Your production value would go up. Yes, you could be in debt for a while, but you put him and Gina Carano in a movie together. That's gangbusters right there.
Or if you wanted to do something like an action comedy,
that's
Chuck Norris, Tim Allen, Gina Carano.
That's Chuck Norris is a little old though. He's like 80.
Yeah, he is, but that doesn't
Yep.
mean he couldn't be the guy sitting at the desk being like, okay, here's what I need you all to do.
I got you. I see what you're saying. You do it that.
Or they could easily do a gym sequence with Gina Carano and Chuck, and one of them being the personal trainer for the other.
I see what you're saying. Well, but I'm just looking at that and I'm thinking I would like to see a cop movie, like a cop movie type situation with Gina Carano and Chris Pratt, Daily Wire, make it happen, make the offer, let's go.
Have them going against AuntQueefa.
All day. 100%.
Yes, you can have Tim Allen be the captain, and then
Yep.
Gina and
There you go.
Gina and Chris be the partners.
There you go.
And have Kevin Sorbo or Chuck Norris be the DA or whatever.
Have him be the chief or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, a small town sheriff's department would be even better for that particular setup. Because Norris actually has played a sheriff in a few of his early roles.
Yeah, there you go.
Walker.
There it is, right there. I mean, I've had the idea. Oh, I'm really gonna blow y'all's mind with this one. Because when I go home and I hang out with my dad, we often watch Gunsmoke together, right?
Okay.
And I was like, they should do a remake of Gunsmoke. You just launched the remake of Gunsmoke. Miss Kitty is played by Gina Carano. Boom. Boom.
Redo it in the modern day.
Redo it. You set it up just like a Western. Like Terror on the Prairie.
Hang on.
Up just like that.
Synergy. Think of what AuntQueefa's doing in most of these cities. They're turning it back into the Wild West.
Okay, that's fine. That'll work. But so you have Gina Carano. She's running a hotel, much like Miss Kitty did. Kevin Sorbo plays a character like Matt Dillon. Tim Allen plays a character like Doc. And then Chuck Norris would play somebody who was like the former sheriff, and he's just kind of out there
mentoring.
Yeah, something like that. And
if we could get him for occasional guest spots up until he finally passes, have Mel Brooks pop in from time to time.
Right. And have who pop in from time to time?
Mel Brooks.
No, he's too old, dude.
Well, no. The thing is, have him just pop in for like a spot piece.
Yeah, just for a couple cameo episodes.
Yeah, the traveling businessman coming in.
Nah, I'm not trying to make it that hokey. I want it to be
because then he can have the white and black friend with.
No, y'all going full Blazing Saddles. I'm not trying to do that.
Just a sprinkle of Blazing Saddles, just a sprinkle.
No.
Honestly, I was thinking more along the lines of either High Anxiety or Young Frankenstein.
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
We're not going to agree on everything.
It's fine, but it's okay. But I'm thinking that whole Gunsmoke, where you have somebody who comes in causing trouble, and you do that whole thing. To be honest with you, I'm just wanting to see Gina Carano dressed up like Miss Kitty. I think that would just be fire right there. I'm watching the show.
Here we go.
Because I'm like, yep, I'm in.
Chrome has an idea. Special guest Tom Selleck.
Oh,
okay.
See, all of these ideas would be amusing, but unfortunately, the show would probably only last for like one season, if that, because of how expensive it'd be to get all these big names, even just to come in to do cameos.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Tom Selleck, even though he is kind of out to pasture, so to speak, trying to be polite about it, would probably be at least $1 million for 5 minutes on the show.
Yeah, you can't. That's what I'm saying. You just keep it small, and you just and you go with that, and you take no names. You take no name actors to play these roles, and you build it up that way. That's how everything started. You take a few notables, like your five key notables, and then everybody else who rolls into the town and is doing all the craziness in the small town, they're just no names. You know, you throw somebody like Jimmy in there to play the town to be the
town drunk.
Guy. Yes.
I'll be the town drunk, but I'll be a damn good shooter though.
Yeah, but he knows everything that goes on. And
have you be in there as the head deputy?
No, I'm just a token black guy. I'm just a token black guy.
No. Hang on. There, given the type of format you're talking about, there's a better token that you could throw in instead. We would have to find somebody to play a token Hispanic guy.
I think we can find one.
And now I'm probably going to be labeled as a complete racist for saying that.
No, but I'm just saying, like I know who we could get. You know who I would call. You know how I would tell Jimmy. I would tell the Daily Wire to text, hey, get Uncle Hotep Jesus. They'll do the parts, no problem. I'll be sitting right there with him, with him in the town. We town Hoteps right here.
I put the word out a little while ago, their synergy, and we have ourselves.
Hey, what's good, man? Nice of you to join us on the stream.
How you doing tonight, Dave?
Pretty good.
This is a fellow military guy, Mando.
Yep, Mando. This is Philly Conservative, another Instagram friend I've known for quite a while.
How would you like me to address you, sir?
Dave, Philly, I don't care. Everybody just calls me Philly now. It's just normal.
Okay, Philly.
So.
Yeah,
bro, you were missing all the stupidity, man. Mitch and Don't Panic, man. That's where I was at before, going after Picasso. So always enjoyable.
That's why I stepped away from that nonsense. I was like, I had my fun with them fools, and then I'm done. I don't want to kill my last two brain cells with them. I want to kill it with booze.
Philly, Mando over here before you came on and before the stream went live. It was, tell them what you did in the military there, Mando, what you did.
22 years. First several years was a medic, specifically in OR tech, and the remainder as a chemical warfare specialist / NCO.
Nice.
Yeah, he's part of the, I don't know what you would call the, what would we call our group, Mando?
Psychos.
Well, let's just say guys that like to talk shit, drink, and speak the truth.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes, man. I was just a grunt, and then at one point in my career, I ended up as a recruiter, which sucked. And then I did a lot of schoolhouse stuff, so I was an instructor in the military as well. But yeah, it was went from the Marine Corps to the Army, and in the Army side, I fell underneath the branch of artillery, but I really didn't do a whole lot of artillery stuff. It was like, mobile training team, Afghanistan, this, go over and to the schoolhouse, that, go over to recruiting. Like, I was everywhere.
Okay, please don't take this too seriously. I'm prior military, so we're going to rag on each other. So you started out as a crayon eater, and then you became a gun bunny.
Well, pretty much. But, as a crayon eater, man, people don't understand, man. That was like the best time, man. It was like primitive, native, it's like SpongeBob with the, what do you call it? The juju sticky head over his head in that native, scene in SpongeBob. That's pretty much what my life was, man. Just rolling around in dirt, drinking, and...
So some of us got to pull the trigger. Some of us got to be there to make sure that nasty stuff gets thrown in if need be.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that time, man.
And that's where my job.
As they say, in your language, this is the way. So if Mandalorian was back in that day, man, I would have figured out how to wear it on the battlefield.
That being said, the helmet that you're seeing
Yeah.
is something I actually 3D printed. I was actually
sweet,
wearing it in that photograph.
Nice.
And I have actually built a full set of Mandalorian armor, constantly upgrading it, and I used my old army gear for a lot of the undersuit materials.
Like a whoopee?
No, I mean old ACUs that are
Yeah.
now considered retired are the jumpsuit. Several of the pouches are hooked up to an old school military pistol belt pouch for the utility kit. I didn't take a whoopee to do anything with because one, I'm not about to spend $60 for something just to cut it up.
One of my buddies, by the way, took whoopies and turned them into jackets, like these, like I don't know how to explain it besides like these, like lightweight military jacket or lightweight, like, jackets, but it's got like these like cool ass symbols on them, and then he ends up selling them to civilians. These things are the most comfortable things I've ever worn, man.
Oh, I believe it. If you have skills with needlework, those are some of the most amazing things that you can
company's
mess with.
called Downrange Hat Apparel.
I might have to have you send Jimmy a link to that to get to me so that way I can take a look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy's over here being DJ Jimmy right now.
What was the topic, man, before I came here?
Well, that's kind of why I labeled my live streams Waffle World. So anybody can come on. I have a lot of talking points I want to cover and whatnot, and then other than that, we can just banter back and forth
pull
like it is.
Pull up everything that you were talking about before. Catch Dave up a little bit. Let's see what his take.
Well, I closed out all the windows here, but basically, you've heard about all the nonsense going on down in Atlanta the past few days, right? Of course, you being from Philly, I'm sure you've had your kind of run-ins with those kind of people and whatnot. I
had my run-ins with Antifa before, even on the police side, the riot side. That's one thing I left out from the military. I've come across Antifa in New York as well. We aided in the 2020 Brooklyn riot when they tried to take over the 84th precinct.
The Summer of Love.
Yeah, the Summer of Love, where Antifa and all them try to take the 84th.
Yeah. Well, where was that? I don't think I had. No, I had it up, but I didn't. Basically, this has pretty much just been the Andy No Twitter page briefing as of tonight. But let me see if I can bring it up. That
Andy No's a good guy, man. He comes after one of my biggest trolls ever, man. He be coming after Corey all the time.
Oh yeah, yep. I've seen him come after.
He's dimed him out by name.
Yeah, he was
I didn't know all that.
Andy was actually the person that I'm pretty sure it might have been a story or a reel that you shared on Instagram, Philly, that we learned a little
Corey in it?
We learned a little bit about Corey's past, but according to the Connecticut John Brown Gun Club, 2023 is going to make 2020 look like a vacation. So
with Antifa, I can never take their threats seriously. I don't take these dudes seriously, man. Every single one I came across, man, weighs less than the Taliban I came across.
Well, unless you go to Portland or Seattle, then that's where their tank division is at.
A tank division?
So that's where their land whales are located?
The ones that are about the size of Synergy. But a little bit smaller, but they're not muscle. It's just all round. That's why I call them the tank division.
The tank division. Round.
I just find the whole Georgia thing interesting. Like, where do you get off setting up your own autonomous zone and then shoot at cops and don't think that they're going to be like, all right, my turn. And then soon as one of yours gets killed, then you do a ride on it? Or you got to be the dumbest people on earth.
the main people that I covered or that we covered were one was the son of a millionaire who sells yachts from out of state. There was another person that was, well, if you can call it a person, I don't want to misgender anybody over here or anything. They were from Spokane, Washington. The yacht dude was from Maine. I think out of all of the arrests that I've seen so far, there's only been one person from Georgia. Everyone else,
Because
including the guy,
that's how it rolls.
Yeah.
They're very transient. Every time I've noticed Antifa, they have to import people from other states, other locations to support their efforts. I mean, you look even at Corey's behavior. He went over, being from Tennessee, he went over to Charlottesville, and he goes to other states to go support other Antifa efforts. But a lot of them, they claim like there's this like national, this gigantic movement of Antifa. It's really just like they have their networks, but not as big as they make themselves out to be. And it was almost similar to what I saw with Blexit. I'm going to be quite honest, where they import people in and they act like they're, Blexit has all these members, but really they just kind of bust people in from different areas. Not to rag on Blexit like that, but it's very similar how they just move people in. And that's what I saw in New York. Like, people that we were detaining they weren't even from New York. They were from like Washington or like blue coastal cities from all over the place. And they were these like little rich punk kids that, fight capitalism as they're driving like daddy's like, Mercedes.
Yep,
and they
got,
got,
Mercedes or an Escalade. And
yeah. And they all want the smoke until the smoke happens. And it's like, they'll start crying when they're being put in handcuffs behind the riot lines.
Hey, man, tell Dave that story about the guy that you met and how you broke his brain. I'm interested to see how. Yeah, there's just
okay. I was actually going to ask if you wanted me to tell that story.
Of course we do.
A few years back, when the previous president was in my hometown, I was in line to try to see him in that rally. And there was a group of AuntQueefa morons walking around, wearing their stupid little masks and their black half-assed tactical gear. One of them said something to me, and I was like, "Hey, take the mask off. Cobra Commander wants to know where his troops are." And this guy his head literally was like, you could see him do the blue screen of death. Because he was trying to goad me into throwing hands.
Well, what's funny is, by trade for the police side, I was a canine handler. And in New York, when I was dealing with the riot aspect, I had a German Shepherd. Now, my usual go-to is I deal with like explosives handling and stuff like this, but I am trained with patrol dogs. And so I had one of those, and I had a Belgian Malinois. So the day of the riot, I took out my patrol / what I would consider an attack dog, my German Shepherd, because he was a big boy. Let me just put it this way. My Malinois was very lightweight. It's agile, but I wanted to kind of make a point with the German Shepherd, and for protection mode as well. And I still remember these guys were throwing things at that. My dog was chomping at the bits, and I usually give people warnings. Like, I will be like, "Hey, get back. I'll keep doing that and keep doing that." At a certain point, I had a little group of Antifa that was, continuously trying to get past the barricades into a police department, and I let the dog go. I gave the commands, and the dog. I will tell you, it was the funniest thing ever, man, because they dispersed like little cockroaches, but the one got bit.
Well, the one I was.
They're all strong in these little groups until they figure out that, it's funny and sad. I can't explain it enough to you guys, but it's. Yeah, I've had one try to punch me, and it was like the weakest punch ever.
Well, and the thing is, the one that I was engaged with verbally, because I wasn't on any kind of duty whatsoever.
Yeah.
If I had done anything, I would have been the one going to jail alongside little Mr. Cobra Trooper wannabe. And I was just goading this guy verbally. He was trying to get me to throw hands, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Zaymot and Tomax want to know
I
where
got
their
one of
money's
my
being.
retired right here.
But I was like, nope, Zaymot and Tomax want to know where their money's being spent. They're somewhere over in New York. You might want to head over there. And I had people in the line with me that were co-signing as I was just bullshitting these people. And the guy that I was doing this to, he visually deflated. He looked like a male adult entertainment device that had a pin poked into it.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing better than seeing those people completely just be destroyed mentally is them getting what they deserve.
Now, I just don't understand how they could just set up autonomous zones, like even that Chaz zone beforehand. Like, people want to talk about insurrection or sedition in the United States. Try setting up your own country within inside of the United States. I mean, I think that meets the very definition of it.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
And I've still never understood how, like, people are not crying out sedition or insurrection on any of these ones, or how we still are not at the stage where we're calling Antifa domestic terrorists.
Of course the media isn't doing that, but of course it's the media. But the mayor of Atlanta, he came out and said this is straight up domestic terrorism. And the DA even said, this isn't Washington, this isn't California, this isn't New York, this isn't none of these places. You will be held accountable. Let's fucking hope so. Because there was one dude that was already released on bail for domestic terrorism charges and goes and does more domestic terrorism. And this is why I always say, I like the meme. People always say, why do you need 30-round magazine clip, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you see the 15 people over there throwing fireworks, beating the shit out of people, throwing rocks, and destroying property. That's why you need a 30-round magazine. And I'm one of the guys that'll say, you know what? As long as they're marching through the streets, just shouting and hollering and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Fine, that's your right. The second
I never understood the looting portion too, bro. I'm like, you're in Manhattan, like, why don't you take some good shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were taking all this dumb stuff. Yeah. I'm like, bro, there's good stores over here, but you over here taking this CVS. Like, bro, like there's a Lamborghini store over there. Or, you know, like a Ferrari over.
There's a Zales right down the road. Yeah, there's a Zales right down the road with $5 million worth of gems.
I'm like, bro, like you guys are the worst at looting. While nobody's gonna arrest you. You know what I'm saying? At least go for the high end. Fifth Avenue.
At least go for the stuff that'll give you some street cred.
Yeah, these guys were over here like stealing, like, you know. It was like, you know, like sodas and just things like groceries, and I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
well, it's like what AOC said, you know.
Or they'll grab a shit ton of clothes and none of them fit them. Like they just got this giant wad of like, you know, like shirts and stuff. I'm like, bro, do you
go raid a FUBU or a Dada and a fucking Nike store with fucking Air Force Ones that are 4 sizes too big for you?
They'll just go off and sell them. That's pretty much it. Yeah, man. This whole thing is crazy. I'm gonna ask you, Dave. I didn't get to ask you this over there on the other live, man. What do you think about the Chinese mass shooting in Cali, man?
I mean, I deem it like any other mass shooting. I mean, I think it's. I kind of have to wait till all the information comes out before I really figure out what's going on. But I think, as I said, there's a mental health crisis in America in general. I can't chalk up what this was, but I think my solution is never to get rid of guns. My solution is to figure out what we can do to help help people deal with whatever, turns them down a violent path. But
Yeah, see,
I can't really tell you what I don't know. All I see is what the news puts in front of me. First, it was a white guy, apparently to them. Now it's a Chinese guy. Now it's like, like you get all this like racial undertone nonsense that the media puts out about it. I can't really, decipher what's going on until like maybe 3 months later when they decide to put the real news out about it.
If they ever put it out.
Yeah, or if they ever put it out, because it looks like right now it's not going to suit a narrative that they want. So I expect this to die down pretty soon. And then they'll go to attacking some other, police officer or white guy or something else.
Because I follow a guy named Smoke and Scan on YouTube. He's in the LA area, and he has he's got like 2 or 3 police scanners, so we can listen to CHP, the sheriff, LAPD, and all that. He just sits there, smokes weed, talks crap, whatnot, has a good time. Good dude. I like him. He seems like a pretty reasonable guy. The other day, I just happened to wake up and put YouTube on, and he started streaming like 20 minutes before. They had that whole standoff and whatnot with the alleged shooter and whatnot. And the scanners were giving out information before the news was. And the news was saying, oh, well, he's in custody and or there may be 2 other ones and whatnot, or another shooter and this and that. And it's like, no, there's cameras going on right in front of you. And you're hearing what is going on between police communications right then and there. So, I mean, he's pretty, seems like a pretty good dude, pretty level-headed, doesn't let the bullshit fucking get to him or whatnot. So, I mean, he does live in California though, so you gotta knock him.
Can't hold it against him.
Gotta knock him for that, man. I'm sorry, but that's
I was born there. You can't knock me for that either.
I mean, that's funny. Jimmy, I ain't never seen your eyes get that big, man. You're bucking your eyes.
Well, hang on. I would like to point one crazy thing out here. We are talking about the media not getting things right. When was the last time in this country that the mass news media actually accurately reported a story?
Never.
Probably never.
That's a damn good question, because I can't think of this.
I would actually wager to say never. I would even go back to even like the Revolutionary War times. If you understood how like the Washington spies and all that stuff would use certain things in like the newspapers to I would even go back even farther than that. Any form of news ever, I'm pretty sure has some sort of spin.
See, the media in this country specifically has always been really bad about trying to come up with nonsense narratives that anyone with a quarter of a brain, actually a working synapse, should be able to see through what's going on.
Yep. But you have a lot of dumb people. Like I'm not trying to be mean to Americans, but you see a lot of people that lack common sense.
Yeah.
Like I deal with them all the time on IG. Like something could be right in front of their face and they still refuse to see it.
Yep.
Like it's like easy to it's easy to manipulate people here. Like
perfect example is basically any kind of shooting on Twitter. Like Breaking 911, I follow them on Twitter. As soon as I see, 2 people shot, 3 injured, I'll click on it and I'll be like, okay, well, let me read the article first, see whatever information they have, and they don't have any information. Like,
well, the simple one happened tonight. That Florida AP African Studies. If you use Google, you're never going to find the actual curriculum or syllabus. The wife had to use DuckDuckGo for the syllabus to show up. Mm-hmm. So Google is already shutting down the ability for anybody to find the actual syllabus.
Yep. That's why I have Brave browser on this, because it has its own search engine and everything. So, and it's not biased or anything like that. I mean, heck, I pulled up all these stories up tonight, but
I hate to point this out, but everything everything we interact with has a bias built into it. Some of
Yep.
them are just better at hiding their bias than others.
Well,
Oh man,
I don't want to go down a
cookies on
rabbit
tight.
hole with y'all, but you know what happened in 2020, right? Y'all remember the DARPA AI technology that was used by General Stan McChrystal?
I
I don't know if you guys.
I vaguely remember hearing about that.
That quickly went away too by Democrats. They made that shit go away. But there was a pack called Defeat Disinfo Pack. It was out of Manhattan, New York. They got alongside two different companies, Higher Ground Labs and I think it was called Media Source One, or it was another form of that kind of. It was called like something like that. Either way, they funded through the McChrystal Group a piece of AI technology that was meant to mess with the internet's algorithms in general, and literally what we saw is shadow banning. So when you could say, hey, I was shadow banned on this platform or that platform, this AI algorithm was meant to do that. I'm just waiting for the Republicans to kind of figure this piece out, because I've been putting it out there, like, and it's public knowledge. Like, they literally said they did it. There's Washington Post articles admitting it in 2020. Like, you're talking about Jeff Bezos, the left, actually allowing that to go to publishing. And we're talking about Department of Defense technology. And that's why Google's the way it is too, where you find something of somewhat neutrality on like the 8th or 10th SEO page. Like, there's a reason for it. There's like literally, cyber warfare going on the people here in America when it comes to information.
Well,
that's why
Philly,
you get all these raging leftists.
Phil, you know as well as I do, having been in the military, once you've worn the uniform for, I'm going to say, at least 6 months after your initial training, you can spot propaganda from a mile away. There are movies that I've heard people talking quite highly of. I'll look at the trailer and be like, nope, I'm not going to be preached at for an hour and a half. Because you can see what they're trying to do as they're doing it.
Well, I've often said that movies are a window into things that are either being done, that are wanting to be done, or currently happening. And a lot of people think I'm playing, and I'm like, I use a really good example of this, and they're like, no way.
What's the one you use?
Huh?
What's the example you use?
Transformers 2.
Okay. I actually hit folks with one that really surprises them, because the rest of the trilogy is so highly regarded. The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because Batman Begins, very little political stuff in there. Very little.
But as you get closer to the end, you can see it all there.
Mm-hmm. Then the Dark Knight, it's a little bit more heavy-handed, but it's still just under the surface enough where it's not quite noticeable unless you know what to look for.
Yep. It's more entertaining, but we're still getting to you.
And then in The Dark Knight Rises, they take the SJW shovel and they whack you upside the head with it.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
I want you to telegram the main office and tell them I said whack. Ow!
Now, do you
tell
know
them
why?
I said ow. Got it.
Do you know? I don't know why Dave left. I guess he had to go.
That's all right.
The reason why I used. Do you know I used the second Transformers?
Why is that?
Do you remember the scene in the movie where they're over in Egypt, and it's actually two scenes, but and we'll just go with the easy one. They're hiding from all the Decepticons, and one of those Decepticons throws out some drones, and they're like little tiny insects. And Sam finds one, and he kills it basically.
Yeah, rips the wings off.
Yeah, when he does that, it sets off a signal, and that's how they located him. Even though he had already been seen, and so I told somebody who was sitting next to me. I told a buddy sitting next to me. I said, "That what you just saw right there? They already have that. They just put it in the movie to make it look cool." And he said, "No, they don't. They don't have that. That's
No,
too." And I went, "All right, never mind."
what you're talking about is, have you ever heard of a YouTuber called Dave Hodges?
Um,
He hosts
mm,
he hosts an alternative news thing called the Common Sense Show.
okay,
Well, he's really big on a concept he calls predictive programming.
predictive
Mm-hmm.
programming. Yep.
So, and I'm going to go ahead and explain it for anyone in the audience who doesn't know what it is, and feel free to correct me if I stray too far off of what it is.
No, go ahead.
Basically, Hollywood, in its various forms, is subtly putting out things that the quote unquote elite either want to do or they're working on doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very subtly using storytelling techniques, getting you mentally programmed to accept whatever weirdness they have coming out.
You know, there's a term for that. You want to know what it's called?
Propagandizing?
Not just that. A revelation of the method.
Mm-hmm. I haven't quite heard it used in that way, but it doesn't surprise me.
I'm actually really glad that you guys brought this up, because then it reminded me of the article that I could not find, but I finally found. Here it is.
Yay!
Congratulations, Jimmy.
Yeah, the WEF says the LGBTQRSTUV LMNOP inclusive policies are key to economic success.
Well, okay.
Tell me.
Okay.
Tell me, how does pandering to a percentage of the entire world's population, which is just now over 8 billion people, so we're talking like a couple 100,000, maybe 1 million, 2 million, how is pandering to them an economic boom? Someone please answer that question for me, because I will be waiting.
Theory crafting, that it's not that they're necessarily expecting that pandering to them is going to get an economic boon. However, they are trying to make you believe that if you question them, that somehow you are the lesser involved in the conversation.
Yeah. Let's just read. Let's read this article, see if we can figure out what the hell. And ignore this cock-sucking cockroach right here. Fuck him.
Ignore the penis in the corner.
Ignore the giant dick in the middle of my screen.
Jimmy, I'm sorry. If I get you banned with my jokes, it's not the intent.
If I haven't been banned already, I think I'll be all right. From the post-millennial, World Economic Forum has claimed that LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ policies are key to economic success, and hosted a panel of speakers, blah, 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 in Davos. Nuke Davos, Putin, nuke Davos. Allegedly, in the discussion titled Beyond the Rainbow. Oh my.
So in other words, we need to get a C-130 loaded down with Skittles and fly it over the area where they're doing that, unload while in the air.
I don't know, Skittles, M&Ms, because they fucking went complete fucking woke tard. Oh, my brain, I just had like a little mini aneurysm reading the title of that discussion. What the fuck is the I? What is the I?
Okay.
I mean, we got loose, gay, butt twerking queers. What do we need for I? Inbreds?
No.
I don't know.
You know, if I was
don't know.
still in contact with my sociopathic ex, I would shoot her a text and ask her, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. I don't blame you. But a high-profile word salad activist took the opportunity to criticize the U.S. for so-called anti-LGBTQ bills. Well, if they would stop grooming and sexualizing our children, probably wouldn't have too much of a problem with it. Legislation that actually seeks to ban doctors from performing experimental sex changes on minors, as well as bills to protect female sports. I'm going to go full screen for this one. I see no problem with that. Stop mutilating children, stop sexualizing children, and men are men and don't belong in female sports. Moving on.
And Jimmy doesn't have a channel anymore, and we're all just talking to ourselves. So just for posterity purposes, I have no idea who this Hotep character is, and so I just got drug in. I don't.
I forced him against his will.
This is somehow or another I got roped into this. For all the YouTube moderators, I'm the token black guy. Please don't. And the views that he expresses are not my own, and therefore I'm just here talking and rambling because I am bored.
And I just don't give a shit.
It's a perfect combination then. But by the way, we are still broadcasting, so we're still good. Going back to the article.
For now,
yeah.
Hang on, Jimmy. You're Lando Calrissian in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. You're too small to be noticed by the Empire.
Probably. I've only got 30 some odd subscribers, but hey, at least my words are still getting out.
And I'm one of them.
Oh man. Oh, let's see. Others aim to protect the safety of women and girls by upholding their right to single-sex spaces. Yes, absolutely, because men do not belong in women's locker rooms or bathrooms.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, especially when the man has been convicted and charged of being a sex offender.
I have no idea who this Jimmy Bones character is. I'm just going to say that one final time.
I like how you took yourself off camera. I think I was a little too late for that one, bud. I told you, man, I like to get in the shit. We're in the shit now, man.
Oh, the sad thing is when it comes to this topic, we're nowhere near the shit. We're not even. If we're gonna use an altitude analogy, we're not even at 15,000 feet yet. We're still probably about 20,000 feet over the really bad stuff.
Yeah, we're at cruising speed because we're at cruising altitude because we're just reading we're just reading an article and giving our 2 cents in, just like, every other YouTuber that talks about politics. Yes, I'm original and I love it. Sarcasm. Okay, Sarah Kate Ellis, president of GLAAD, took aim at what she called anti-LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ bills that she says are mostly targeting trans youth.
Wow.
There is no such thing as a trans youth. There is such a thing as a impressionable child that adults are pushing their worldview onto, and it will completely and royally ruin that child's life. Stop doing that. Back to the article.
I have no idea who this Jimmy Bones character is, and everything he says, I am going to just sit back in just awe and amazement that he would have such brazen, just the brazenness of it all to deny this whole situation. I'm just,
Hey, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to look into the YouTube TOS to make sure that I'm not breaking anything. I'm pretty sure I am, but I don't give a fuck.
Hey, Synergy, I'm gonna point something out. Stories like what Jimmy's currently reading are the reason why my escape route to get away from reality are YouTube videos about the SCP Foundation. I'd much rather think that there's giant indestructible reptiles that want to destroy all life on this planet than some of the stuff we're talking about.
Well,
Was,
hey, wait. Speaking of the planet, by the way, I saw this on the Instagram and I had to go, and I was like, yo, I'm not serious. So apparently, and Jimmy, you can look this up. Scientists have discovered that the center of the Earth, the metal core, the nickel and iron core of the planet, has decided to start rotating in the opposite direction.
Oh, that's been predicted for the last 5 years.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have a magnetic polar flip here within the next 75 to 50 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
can it be within the next 5 to 7 months?
No.
Please?
Well, the thing is, if it goes slowly, you're barely gonna notice it. If it goes quickly, we're gonna have some problems.
All hell's gonna break loose and humanity will cease to exist. Which
you've seen 2012.
Kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I've seen 2012.
Well, you both know my plan for if Yellowstone decides to start doing a little more rumbling than it does.
Well, even if the poles shift, if they do a rapid move to like the North Pole goes all the way to like where freaking Siberia is or something crazy like that, and then the other one shoots up to like the middle of Argentina, just doing that, everybody's screwed.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Now, here's the even more messed up thing to worry about. Since the Earth's crust is basically like an eggshell on its yolk,
yeah,
what's going to happen if the crust decides to move, but the poles stay stationary, relatively speaking?
Tidal waves everywhere.
Scrambled egg.
Well, let's just say where I'm at in the central part of the country would be negatively impacted.
Yeah. Like the whole thing.
I'll have beachfront property here in Nebraska.
Yeah, where I am, I already know what goes on. I'm like, okay, well, obviously, it gets really bad here. It gets absolutely just awful here.
But let's get back to this article here because
Jimmy, before you go,
I need another brain aneurysm before we get to the memes.
Hey, but before you go to the memes, make sure you look what G Ski put in the daily memes on Gilded.
Oh, daily memes, looking right now. Oh yeah, I saw that one.
I'll only be able to stay on a little bit longer, guys. I gotta get ready to go to bed soon. I've got a 5:15 in the morning client.
Hey, it was nice meeting you, metaphorically speaking.
We'll go ahead and switch that one out. But this one article, we can get to talking about Aretha. We could save Aretha Franklin's article for later. But did anyone happen to see this pop up in their social media feeds or anything like that?
What is that? Yes, I saw that.
According to Africa Archives on Twitter, electrically charged stones discovered in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We'll play this for a little bit. It looks like a rock.
That's some freaking vibranium they found.
Takes a couple wires with an LED. And presto chango.
Okay. Yeah.
Part of me wants to say that's staged, but part of me is not sure.
Let me see. Okay, they don't have this video on there, but I did see another video of that where they're taking two gigantic sections of these so-called rocks and whatnot, and they're touching them together, and everything, it's arcing like a friggin' welder. Is it staged? Possibly. Is it real? Also possibly.
Ungilded, see if you can shoot me a link to that, because I'm going to want to take a look at it and possibly show it to some of the folks at the place where I work.
Let me see here.
Okay, I'm going to lean on the side of the possibility of that being 100% of that being real, and because there's always stuff that's being discovered. Now, the fact that when I saw that, the first thing I thought of was, oh boy, this is not going to be good, because they're going to be like, oh, well, screw this, we're going down there, we're going to take all of that.
Don't worry, guys. Mandy News has a fact check for us. Fact checked. False claim of vibranium being discovered in DR.
Okay.
That's the funny part. The claim is wrong. Vibranium is not real. According to Wikipedia, vibranium is a fictional metal that appears in Marvel Comics universe, specifically in the world of Black Panther. The claim it is not vibranium.
Well, we know that. I don't know.
If you noticed, I wasn't saying that at all.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's vibranium. It's no, we know, people. Vibranium is a fictional metal.
To be completely honest with you, if that is real, I would want to know what kind of radiation's coming off of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember what I do for the military.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that and I'm thinking, if it's real, we've got something that Nikola Tesla would have wanted to play with back in the 1930s.
Yeah, we need to
proceed with extreme caution.
Send a few Geiger counters down there and make sure everybody that's handled that rock, if it's real, make sure that they're all good. Nothing's gonna be crazy with them.
If it's real, y'all know what's gonna happen, right?
Some jackass is gonna weaponize it.
No, the Congo is gonna get some democracy sent their way.
Oh yeah, we about to free them up real quick.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that it's not like we've sent over almost $200 billion to Ukraine weapons and aid to Ukraine, and just somehow some of it is starting to show up in Africa.
Hey, that operation will cease and desist immediately off of that. That'll shut down so fast. You'll be like, well, what? People will be like, well, what war? Yep. What happened? Where did that go? Because now all the focus will be there. And that will be the resource to look for and find.
We might have to save this for another.
First off, that being
for another stream,
because laws of physics and evolutionary theory and principles. Okay.
Our resident 10-pound brain in a 2-pound sack has some stuff to say. So Nate, next time we have a little chat on the old Waffle World here.
All right. Well,
be sure to remind me about all this and whatnot. So.
Let me say one final thing. As it pertains to his statement, there was a time in space where people thought that flight was a defying of physics and everything else. So there are many things in this world and on this planet that have yet to be discovered. I mean, that is true.
That is true. I mean, much we've only mapped out what 7 or 12% of the entire ocean or something like that.
We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the surface of the ocean, or than we do about the ocean floor.
Yep.
Right.
And even then, the moon stuff is kind of suspect.
Oh, Jimmy, we got to do okay. I gotta go. But look,
All right.
here's the thing. What we gotta do is you gotta pick a date and you gotta pick a time to do these shows that I can get in and I can go down that rabbit hole with you.
We can do that. I'll be sure to make myself up a tinfoil kufi as well.
Only 9% of the ocean. See?
9%
Exactly.
of the ocean. Yep.
So that's why I'm thinking that the megalodons still exist. They just ain't found that joker yet.
Yep. All righty. Well, Synergy, it was great having you on the,
Yep. I'm
great having you on the
Synergy,
show, man. But
it was nice virtually meeting you.
yeah, same here, Mando. Same here.
Yep.
I'll see
Synergy.
y'all on the flip side.
Yeah, Synergy. I'll send you I'll send you a message on Instagram and give you updates on when I usually try to do my streams and whatnot. So if you can make it, you're more than welcome to come on and
chop it up.
Keep the koofies tight.
All right, no problem. I'll holler.
All right. Bye. Have a good one, bro. Oh man. Well, with that, I think we've pretty much covered all of the serious stuff. There was one I did want to cover. Let me go drain the main vein here. So sorry, I don't have a pee break to entertain y'all while I'm gone. But I will be back. We'll cover that one, and we'll get to the memes. See you in 2. There, I feel better. Oh, much more better.
Yeah. Honestly, I probably should have planned to have something to say so you didn't have dead air there, but I wasn't expecting that.
I was holding that one in for quite a while. Sitting here doing the pee dance in my fucking chair. But the one story I did want to kind of cover, I really only brought up one article. Again, it's from The Guardian, so take that with a grain of salt. The whole spiel with Brazil and all of that. Apparently, the dude sacks head of Brazilian army after a far-right insurrection. It's like, yeah, smurf my balls. I'm not going to go all the way into this, is because it doesn't really.
Well, I would like to point something out. Here in the U.S., when we say far right, far left, it's pretty obvious to Americans what we're talking about. It's either Democrats or Republicans, depending on the context. You say far right, far left in certain other countries like Great Britain or Brazil or several others, you're not necessarily going to have the same dichotomy.
Right. I mean,
Because
hell, France just had a far left riots and whatnot because they upped the retirement age by 2 years in that country.
that's how do I say this? In in
It's
some in some parts of the world, the far left are the conservatives and the far right are the liberals.
things are kind of backwards and whatnot.
Yeah, so the the term I generally use when talking about this sort of stuff with people is nationalists or populists. And what they've got going on in Brazil essentially is a populist insurrection.
Yep.
Because more or less the military is siding with the people at the last bit of news that I saw on the topic, and I haven't been following it super closely. Been more
Yep.
worried about what's going on over in Ukraine and Russia.
Yep. Well, I mean, the new guy sacking the head of the Brazilian army,
Yeah, it kind of
just
leads an indication as to where they're leading or going.
just they could have left off the after far right insurrection. They could have just put that right there because if you've been paying attention to it, you know that the or the military is siding with the people, and it's, let's just say they had a similar ice cream social
Yeah,
event happen down there. Just saying.
yeah, and of course, if you look it up on MSN and you post a comment about it, it can be labeled as misinformation under the same context as what we had here up in here a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So honestly, internationally, things are coming to a head on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is take a look at what the Russian what the Russian Prime Minister essentially said allegedly earlier today about how things are going to develop, and I'm just going to leave it there because I don't want your channel getting zapped.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure it'll be happening soon, but it is what it is. So, it is what it is. But enough of the sappy and
Serious.
black-pilled and serious stuff. Let's get to some memes. How about that?
Oh yeah, let's do it. It's been one of those days.
Facebook actually was pretty decent today. Pretty decent today with the memes. So
nice.
Let's go through them. This one, just chef's kiss. Me, what are you doing? My daughter, playing tea party. Oh, well, that's nice. Daughter throws teapot in pool. I fucking hate taxes. Me, really proud of you.
That's a sign that the parent has taught the kid right when it comes to history.
Yes, you are raising your child well if your child is doing that with her tea party. Oh, let's see what else here. Oh, I hope everyone likes Star Wars memes or Star Wars themed, because I have a very simple mind when it comes to memes, as I've stated before. So the simpler, the better. And if it's Star Wars and simple, oh, it's just glorious. Hello there, General Kenobi. I'm sorry, but anytime I see the hello there, I hear Obi-Wan in my voice.
Okay.
I'm that simple-minded. Yes.
You've never seen Babylon 5, correct?
No.
All right. Well, there's a Star Wars version of this meme. Teacher, you can't hear a picture. Student, yes, I can. In the Babylon 5 version, it's a picture of a shadow battle crab. In the Star Wars version, it's a picture of a TIE fighter. Either way, it's kind of a similar noise.
Yep. Oh, let's see here. Oh, here's another libertarian-esque meme that I've thoroughly enjoyed. How do you report someone who makes money under the table? Joe Jorgensen. You shut the fuck up. That's how. And then the real Joe Jorgensen comes on. I think that's from a parody account. However, I agree. And you know what? It's
you know, some people just need to learn to stay out of other people's business and mind their own storm.
yeah. Speaking of storms, this is going to be me on Valentine's Day.
Jimmy, you and I have a very similar sense of humor on that.
If I can't be happy, no one can be happy. No, I'm just kidding. I hope everybody has a very good Valentine's Day and whatnot. You know,
I hope it's an
It is what it is.
electrifying experience.
I hope they get the shock of their life.
Want to smell it? We've
No, but I
listened,
think
we've listened
think-
to Pop and Blake too long.
no. But you've seen the video memes of the women carrying all the beers and whatnot, like during Oktoberfest and whatnot.
Yeah, I saw it in real life.
Well, they say alcohol won't make you happy. Then there's me with alcohol.
Well, in your case, it's probably accurate.
It's very accurate. Oh man, I just really wish Facebook wouldn't fucking go back to the top of your page when you're scrolling through your shit, trying to share your memes.
Honestly, I refuse to use Facebook on my computer.
I don't blame you.
I
Really
have
don't blame
I've
you.
opened Facebook on my laptop once in the 8 years I've had a Facebook page. And that was because I was responding to a gaming group here in my local area that really was just ticking me off.
I don't blame you. Crusader Nate, at least the guy would get out without being broke.
I don't know. It might be a rather electrifying experience getting out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
definitely
move on
fun.
because I could make those jokes all darn day and you'd want to kill me.
But I found a picture of myself that a candid picture someone took of me. I was trying to figure out how much liquor I can still buy after and still have money to eat.
Alrighty then.
Joke's on him. I have plenty for both. Oh man!
I
know
say
there's
again
some-
my last.
So I'm not big on the whole sports ball thing anymore since the past years and whatnot. Whoops.
Well, that's at least $100 that guy just threw away.
I'm going to assume he's of Latino descent because of that last scream.
Oh, probably. And that looked like it was a football match that they were watching, and I don't mean American football.
No, it was the Cowboys losing because apparently the Cowboys lost and people are making memes.
Oh, so the Cowboys did what the Cowboys do best.
Pretty much, yeah. But the funny thing is, if that person's parents would have done this, he probably wouldn't be in that big of a problem.
That's why your kids try to kill you when there's no juice.
If you spank your kids with a belt, that's called abuse.
That's why your kids try to kill you when there's no juice. You let them bite and kick and scream. Then you cry when they call you mean. You're supposed to raise your kids, but they raise you. You put your kids on a leash and wonder why. They turn 16 and want everyone else to die. It's because they thought that they were dogs. Then they learned this thing called laws, and 16 is way too old to pout and cry. Now my mama and my pa ain't play that shit. Gotta be with a belt, a broom, a spoon, sometimes a switch. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Why your kids be running wild, popping pills and snorting powder just for kicks?
Alrighty then. I'm not going to say he's wrong.
TikTok does have its uses. Not very many, but
I've heard it makes for a great interrogation method.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Just put on the Kardashians for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh God. Here's one that's a little bit longer. I had to watch it at work, and I was like, you know what? This is pretty goddamn. It's pretty
Bad.
fucking close, man. It's bad. It's bad, man.
All right, check this out.
Whoa. Why it get dark so fast? It's like somebody just turned off the lights. And it's only 5 p.m. Wait a minute, hold up. This must be that global warming stuff, man.
Wow. See, I told you.
Yeah.
Global warming, right?
Yeah, that's not
Like,
a thing.
what is that? How's
Not a
global
thing.
warming gonna make it darker?
Exactly.
Like, it don't make no sense.
God. Wait a minute. It was just 5 p.m. How's it 4 p.m. now? What? It's like somebody just reversed time by an hour. What? Man, daylight savings is crazy. Yo, this is crazy. Bro.
Daylight saving, what is that?
Oh no, man. Time for some cereal. What a young player gonna get? Oh shit, you about to hit him with the. Wait. Fruit Loops got 2 O's for the fruit? I could have sworn it just was spelled like regular fruit. Wait a minute. I know what's going on right now. It's the Mandela effect.
Whoa!
No way he just said that. Oh my. Bro, hey, what they gonna think next? That Curious George had a tail? Like how does Nelson Mandela make you forget reality?
Bro, this like remind me of that one time where I was controlling the simulation, and dude, as soon as this dude stepped outside, I turned on the rain.
Wow,
I turned on the rain
you're a
immediately.
demon.
You know what he said?
What'd he say?
Oh, I guess I got bad luck.
Oh, what is luck? They always talking about luck.
Bro, they're so stupid.
They really are. Like,
They're so
hey, what is these voices that I'm hearing? Talking about controlling the simulation or something. Like what?
Bro.
What? What is these voices?
Oh my God.
Oh, I know what's going on. Like I actually know exactly what's happening. Like I know specifically what this is going on right now.
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm schizophrenic.
I'm done,
Damn,
bro.
I knew I was
done,
crazy.
bro. I'm done, bro. I'm done.
You can't tell me you haven't had days like that, Jimmy.
I've had days like that constantly. I've had days where I go to work and I don't know why I just get like nonstop deja vu senses and all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, man, we really do live in a simulation. That's why that one cracked me up so much. I was like, oh, dude.
If this makes you feel any better, my cat was also watching this, and that thump you just heard on my end was her rolling off the couch and looking at me like, why'd you do that? So.
Oh, man. Even your cat's a part of this simulation, man.
Are you kidding? It's a cat. She's probably the overlord of the simulation.
Speaking of overlords, I'm not particularly fond of people who fly in private jets to a meeting where they discuss how to take away my car and feed me bugs. That's just me. Like I said,
I thought memes were supposed to be funny because that just sounds honest.
I was, like I said, the memes were pretty much on point today.
Yeah.
Here we go. This one's somewhat relevant to the MGTOW community.
Oh, no.
Humans. My ex is a complete sociopath. I can't imagine anything more manipulative. Female fish. Hold my beer. Female fish will fake orgasms to trick males into thinking they've successfully mated. Then they'll swim off to find a better partner. So what's the difference between the modern female and a fish?
You need the Jeopardy soundtrack. Because I have no answer for you, man.
To quote George Lopez, even though he's an asshole, they're the same shit.
Yeah, I've got nothing. I'm trying to come up with an answer for you, but I've got nothing. I hate to be a dickhead about this, but yeah, I don't see a difference.
Right. Okay, so like I said before, my when it comes to memes, my mind is very simple.
Okay.
Can you explain to me why tamales is pronounced tamales, but females is pronounced females and not famales?
I'm trying to come up with an answer for you, man, and I'm drawing a blank again.
Anyone in the chat can in the chat and in the comments when you see this video, can you legitimately tell me why is tamales pronounced tamales, but females is pronounced females instead of females? Just asking questions over here.
Just asking for a friend.
Like I said, my brain is fucking stupid.
I'm literally on this stream using a Star Wars character as my avatar. Do I have room to talk?
Thank you, Polska. If it wasn't if it wasn't obvious, there's some sarcasm sprinkled in them famales. Like I said, Polska, my mind is very, very simple, and if it makes me laugh, it's probably stupid. Like ATF. So what you got there? Smoothie. It certainly isn't one of them pistol braces, and that turns my AR pistol into a SBR magically.
It's a pity in some ways that the guy who played that character in Tremors has retired from the role, because I could see that being a perfect parody movie. After everything that's happened, I think the character's name was Burt Gomer.
Yeah,
being chewed out by the ATF over all the stuff that he's owned for the last 40-something years.
Yep.
Because if I remember in the original Tremors, didn't he actually have a full-on light machine gun?
Geez, it's been a while since I've seen any of the Tremors movies, but I'm pretty sure he did. Well, I mean, he had the best one was when they were making the to try to be YouTube friendly, even though we haven't done it all that great, but the enclosed boomy things that may or may not have been found at the Capitol on January 5th.
Yeah, let's not go there, Jimmy.
I like the comment that I think it's Kevin Bacon's character says, he's like, or Bert says, yeah, you just take this, you light it, and you throw it. He's like, well, what's this? He's like, it's cannon fuse. For what? For my cannon. But Baby Yoda does have some wisdom to bestow upon us. Says, you know what we don't really have a shortage of now? Dumbasses.
That could be either Baby Yoda or Adult Yoda.
Yep. Or it could be Red Foreman. Red Foreman would also be another good one because that was pretty much his catchphrase was dumbass.
Yeah. And actually, there is a character that, even though he's absolute meme bait, I don't think I've ever actually seen a good meme of. Al Bundy. Married with Children.
Give
Notice I said I don't think I've ever seen any good memes of him.
Give me a minute and whatnot, and I will I'll find one.
Oh no.
But oh yeah. So you saw that well, I'm not sure if you saw it or anything, but Pink Floyd celebrated the 50th anniversary of their album.
I heard rumors about it.
Yeah. Apparently people got really pissed off because people are fucking stupid. So I had to save this one. Marked safe from people who are mad that Pink Floyd used a rainbow on their 50th anniversary album cover today. Yeah, I saw the post and I was like, oh, the comments are just going to be fucking glorious and stupid. Let me go kill some brain cells. So I open them up. And of course, it's rainbow this, rainbow that. I'm like, you people are fucking stupid and don't know good music, so shut the fuck up.
I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but refresh my memory. Didn't they use the rainbow on their album covers multiple times over the years?
As a matter of fact, I'm bringing those up right now.
Because I want to say
it was Dark Side of the Moon, I believe, right? Yep, Dark Side of the Moon. Yep, let's just bring that up and stop screen, present, share, clicking all the buttons, and boom. I'm not sure if this is a fact checked or anything, but whatever. Fake Pink Floyd fans mistake Dark Side of the Moon rainbow for gay pride flag. Start homophobic rambling. Some of you took, we don't need no education a little too seriously, one fan joked. Yes, this is a cover for Dark Side of the Moon, possibly one of the best albums ever created by mankind.
It's also one of the few Pink Floyd albums I'm actually moderately familiar with.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon has sported a rainbow on its cover for 50 years. It's actually not a rainbow, it's a light hitting
It's the
a
light
prism
spectrum, because you can see all 6 colors.
Yes.
Or correction, all 7 colors. Because the LGBT flag only has 6 colors.
No, this one only has 6 as well.
Yeah, you might be right there. Because indigo and violet do tend to bleed into each other.
Yeah, there needs to be a color in between the blue and purple there for it to be the actual 7. So, stupid people out there on the internet, you see something and it enrages you. You have to just comment on it.
Jimmy.
Take a deep breath.
You have to remember something. The average person's attention span is the same as the average goldfish's attention span.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think I might have found a meme from Effin' Birds. Let me see if I shared it. I'm pretty sure I shared it on Facebook. If not, it was on my Instagram. Let me see here. Nope, that's not it.
I'm going to have to start trolling Facebook again when I have dead time at work, so that way I can try to hunt you down some decent memes.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of decent memes, so we heard the whole incident with the actor that played Nighthawk and everything, right?
Who?
He played Nighthawk from the Avengers.
You mean Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, Nighthawk. Who the fuck is not Nighthawk? I don't fucking know.
I know he got run over by a snowplow.
Yeah, they found the new big baddie for his next solo movie.
Alrighty then. He gets plowed one time.
Too dark. Too soon. I saw that and my caption was, "Good Lord, man." But I had to laugh because I have a very sick, dark sense of humor.
Well, I did send you a meme that will be perfect for Groundhog's Day.
Uh-oh.
On
Let's
Gilded.
see it.
It was a couple of weeks ago on Gilded in a private message.
Was it?
It was in that big dump of a bunch of memes. Some of them were good, some of them were crap.
Okay. Yeah, I think we went and... Yeah, I think we covered those ones already.
Most of them. Most of the good ones you went over.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, let me see here if I can...
And I know I told you about the Obama logic meme.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I still think that one holds water even today, even despite the fact that it's Biden, not Obama, in office.
Yeah.
They may as well be the same person.
Oh, man.
What was that?
Okay, I found this one on Instagram. I thought it was pretty funny.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not even fucking sharing it. What in the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out there, Jimmy.
Sorry.
Just seems that's what. Do.
Sorry.
I got a bitch ass puzzle for you. Oompa loompa fucking doopity dee. Yeah. If you are wise, you'll listen to me. What do you do when you're pooping all day? Got diarrhea, but that is okay. I do not know why I sing about you. It just seems that's what I do. I'm gonna take a poopy now. Oompa loompa doo.
Like I said, my humor is very simple.
Yeah. Okay. I'm honestly not even sure how to respond to that, Jimmy.
Sorry, man.
No, it's
makes me laugh,
okay.
man. But at least in these days we have a visual reference of how women have aged, or let's see, what is it? Have changed over the years. Yeah, 70s they were rocking the full bush, 80s a little minimal, 90s, and then the 2020s happened. And that's all I got to say about that.
Alrighty then. You know, that could also almost be the devolution of society.
Yeah, I would agree on that one.
And notice I didn't say evolution of society.
No. But at least this year I do have an idea what I want to do with my garden. So, you know, because everybody's like, you know, gotta make your own gardens, gotta, you know, be
self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient. So I'm gonna try my garden this year. Wish me luck.
You can't literally grow a beer garden, Jimmy. That's a myth that they have in Germany.
Damn it. How dare you destroy my hopes and dreams, man?
Hey, at least I only did it using words instead of the 4 megatons that are waiting to be deployed.
Oh, I forgot about this one. So, as I stated before, I do like my Star Wars memes. So this one was. Oh, this one was actually the chef's kiss. I'll see if I'll zoom in a little bit. So we got Marth and Vader. Hey, Vader, how'd you lose your limbs? I jumped over a Jedi, but he cut me midair. Lucky slice, if you ask me. You? Ah, you son of a bitch, motherfucker, bitch. You bastard. Fucking up on me, man.
Oh, it's Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook can...
There you go.
Facebook can face fuck off. Okay. Ouch. I was also cut clean in half by a Jedi. The Jedi who sliced me got lucky. Besides, if I can't jump over someone, then no one can. Jump? Well, that's how the Jedi did it. Jump clean over me, and bam! Such a powerful move. Psh, I doubt it. Who is this alleged successfully jumping Jedi? Obi-Wan Kenobi. But if you're so good, try jumping over him yourself.
Okay, that's a jacked up one right there.
That one I thought was pretty damn good.
No, the only reason I say it's jacked up because I did watch Star Wars Rebels, and I did see how Maul ended up eventually buying the farm, assuming they don't retcon that like they have everything else.
Well, I've heard some things about certain offsets and whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't want to...
Let's not go there, because I enjoyed Rebels, but I know a lot of other people didn't. And I don't want to see an argument start over a cartoon.
I forgot about this one. I found this one the other day. I'm just going to present it and let me know your opinion.
I can't disagree with that one. Although I would point out that it'd be more like unhanded Windu, because he still had his arms. He didn't have his hands.
No, he was unarmed because he got cut at the wrist and he could not hold his lightsaber anymore.
I was being actually literal there, Jimmy.
I know, and you can't be literal with me and memes, man.
Yeah, I know. I know.
The out the window.
That I do agree with, though.
I fucking.
And there is actually some Star Wars fan conspiracy theories out there that said he did survive that long fall down Coruscant.
I would highly doubt that.
Well, we all thought that Maul was gone too, and somehow he came back. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah, because that was quite the fall, and that's like a serious main reactor for that ship.
That was a planet, dude.
No, he fell through a...
No, that was on a planet. That was on Naboo, the main palace in Theed.
Yeah, and he fell down a similar tube that the Emperor fell down when Vader threw his ass off. It was a similar tube, wasn't it?
It was a thermoplasmic vent in the palace of Theed.
Okay.
On the planet of Naboo.
Speaking of random questions, do you ever wonder why kangaroos don't have tits? That's why.
It makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're rocking, the itty bitty titty committee, I think you'll be fine. But anything more than a B cup, I think you're going to be knocking yourself out.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Speaking of anything above a B cup, she had B cups once, but now they're S cups, as in saggy.
Sad thing is, I think I saw that in a newspaper. Is there a reason you popped me full screen though, Jimmy? Hello?
Whoops.
I was about to say, did something malfunction on your end and I'm not the one running the stream? Because if that's the case, I'm going to be like...
No, that was human error. I'd really like to... If there's any way I can move, like... Oh, wait, I can. I can move tabs around on here. Okay. I just got to make sure I was on the right one. My bad.
Okay, I'm thinking about starting something similar. I'm learning from all of you guys.
It's a learning process, but that's all right. But hey, Aretha Franklin was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Well, you better know your difference. That's Aretha Franklin, and that's a wreath of Franklins.
Alrighty then.
Again, when it comes to memes, my mind is very simple and is very easily entertained. So if it makes me chuckle, I share it.
Oh no, I'm not knocking it, Jimmy. My whole thing is, you know me, I like puns. In fact, my sense of humor has been called quite repugnant on more than one occasion.
Nice.
But I will point out a meme. Simple can be good. There's a point where it's too simple.
Okay, yeah, I understand that as myself as a, I would say, self-proclaimed meme lord.
Yeah,
no one has bestowed me of the lordage of memes. So,
well then, Jimmy, as unofficial as possible, or as official as possible for somebody who's unofficially doing this stuff, I pronounce you Sir Meme Lord.
Winning.
Now please take this title and shove it up your tailpipe.
I'll be like the prison warden from Let's Go to Prison when he's walking out and talking to the new guys. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't. What I was actually referencing was a scene from Babylon 5 Season 3. One of the main characters was lamenting that after they broke away from Earth and didn't have a lot of resources to do a lot of good, she wasn't sure what she was supposed to be doing. Then she got an opportunity to basically use a futuristic version of Photoshop to turn her commander into an alien species.
Nice.
And he was like, I officially dub you the Babylon 5 resident sneak in charge. Now get out of my workstation. You'd have to actually watch the episode for it to make more sense.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. Anything Babylon 5 is over my head. I haven't watched any of that, but this one seems pretty relevant. The year is 2042. My electric car won't start because I used the wrong pronoun yesterday. No air conditioner in my 50 square foot apartment because I reached my monthly amount of farts. But I think they're adding grub worms into my cricket paste.
And I love the fact they've got the Google logo on the massive building at the other end of that hive city. Have you noticed? Okay, you grew up in the 90s, correct?
I was born in 1990, but yeah, I grew up in the 90s.
Okay. Did you watch much in the way of sci-fi during the latter half of that decade in the early 2000s?
Not really, no.
Okay. I noticed a trend where it seems that science fiction from about 89 or from about 60 to 95 or 98 was generally optimistic. Yeah, you had things like Terminator and other items that were more the world's going to Hades in a handbasket and there's very little we can do about it. But now it seems like almost everything coming out sci-fi wise, even Star Trek and Star Wars, is really dark and dystopic. There's not much of the optimism that you would see in the classic Star Trek or even in Battlestar Galactica. Granted, there's very little optimism you can have when you're leading a fugitive fleet away from a war zone, but I think you get where I'm trying to go.
Yeah. There's actually a picture that Mr. Billy Von Baum made with his AI technologies and whatnot. And it actually might be a pretty damn good representation of what I would look like in 2042. You just can't find it. There it is.
Well, it's only 22, or actually, no, now 19 years away.
And I'm 32. So it's pretty damn close. So what I'm going to do is get out of there. I have it saved on my phone. So give me 2 seconds here.
Now, should we be putting up a disclaimer to warn anyone with weak stomachs or young children to change the channel?
No, this isn't bad at all. This one isn't bad. This is actually what I would probably be looking at like in 2042, being the very last straight unvaccinated white male on Earth.
I'll be in my 60s, dude.
Oh, you.
And truth be told, God don't like me enough to let me die, and the devil don't want me.
I might have to write that down because that's a damn good saying.
Well, someone in the army years ago asked me how the hell I wasn't dead yet. And that's exactly what I told him. The guy was rolling laughing for a good 45 minutes. It was really rather insulting, too, because I was my squad leader.
Jesus. Okay, come on, phone. Will you let me fucking do this?
Yeah, I straight up told him that, you're not supposed to be laughing at one of your soldiers saying something that disparaging about themselves.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. Okay, stop sharing. To the Gilded.
Yeah, you just sent it to Gilded.
Yep. That was the easiest way. So this is what... So ladies, if you're out there and you're thinking about even trying to get with me, good luck with that. Oh, hell. Was it not? Window. This is what you'll be looking forward to seeing.
Oh, I remember seeing that. I think I commented that it looked like a Half-Life 2 character.
I was going to say Half-Life 2 or The Last of Us or something. Some kind of dystopian, nightmarish, hellish bullshit that we got to live through.
Or it could be you getting inaugurated to the presidency.
You don't want me to be president, trust me.
I was hoping you were taking a drink when I said that.
I only brought 4 beers into my office with me, so I'd have to go get another one.
Oh. You do realize some of these things I'm saying, I'm deliberately trying to make you do a spit take, right?
Good luck trying to make me spit out beer, man. I don't waste alcohol.
Who said it has to be beer?
I don't drink water. What are you talking about? I don't drink that crap. Just kidding. I stay well hydrated and at work.
Okay, tell me something, Jimmy. In all seriousness, since you're a 2A advocate, do you support the right to arm bears?
I don't see why the bears shouldn't be armed.
You had to stop and think about that for a second, didn't you?
Well, I usually stop and think about a lot of things, especially when things are going good, and you just can't put quite put your finger on things. Life seems to be going good for more than 3 days. Get a little
Suspiciously looking
suspicious.
around. Yeah,
One tends to be a little suspicious of that.
I get the exact same way. I am so used to the universe going nicely for a little while and then deciding to do a hard left turn on me.
Yeah. Everything is everything is either fake or gay, apparently, is the new saying people are saying.
I don't see the falsehood in that sentence.
Yeah. But,
which is ironic because one of the things is fake.
Yeah. But I will say this to everyone that thinks that, well, I don't know how to put this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the meme speak for itself because it's a damn good one.
I remember you showing that one earlier on Gilded.
Yeah. I will say this: the quote is rather fitting as well. Either strap up or step back. We have a world to save, so you will either be an asset or a liability. Make the choice now before those willing to fight make the choice for you. And I'm just saying this now, folks. If you let someone else make the choice for you, it's not going to end pretty for you.
Yeah. I'm going to speak for myself here. Like Pop is regularly saying, I don't want to get involved in a conflict here on American soil. I don't want to be called up to do what I was trained to do against my fellow Americans. If I'm ever told that I have to choose between following my conscience or following the Constitution, well, you and I have spoken. I think you know which way I'm going to go.
Yep.
All that being said, I will be more than happy to John Wick somebody if they come after Evie. Because that cat's the closest thing to a family I've got currently.
And I won't
allegedly.
That actually reminds me of another meme. It was the captain of the Death Star, just right after they blew up Alderaan.
Yep, I know.
John Wick's dog was on Alderaan, and they fucking just flew out.
Which honestly, those Imperial shuttles also fit the meme of you can't hear a pitcher.
Yeah,
because those things have a very distinct noise.
Yeah. But anyways,
you got to hand it to the guys that do science fiction. They'd make some really good sound editing choices.
Well, you know how the space laser or the lasers for the TIE fighters was recorded?
Probably not.
They took a wrench and then one of those really long anchor wires for like a radio antenna or anything. They just fucking smacked it.
I can see that.
They took the wrench. Yeah, let me see if I can.
Have you ever seen the classic Toho kaiju movie Rodan?
No.
Did you watch Godzilla King of the Monsters?
No.
One of these days, go on YouTube and look up Rodan, specifically Rodan's cry. And next time we speak, if you've done so, tell me if you can figure out how they came up with that particular sound.
Wait a second. That's. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm thinking of the sound they made for the Tyrannosaur roar in Jurassic Park. That's actually an interesting one too. If you don't know that one,
If I remember right, isn't that was either a tortoise engaging in reproductive activities or a.
yes.
'Cause I want to say the raptors had something very similar that was quite disturbing.
Yeah, I can't remember those ones, but I've exhausted the memes for the day. Yep, I'm sorry, I've hit you with everything that I've got, and if you want more, I'm
always
closing
next
up
week,
shop.
man.
There's always next week. Hopefully maybe I'll not be a lazy piece of shit and do a Saturday stream.
Well, I'll try to remember before the next time I join you to dig up some memes on my end, so that way we can actually do some back and forth.
There we go. Yeah, I need to just keep reposting the Robin Hood Men in Tights meme for the first meme streams. So
the thing is, I'm actually part of several veterans groups on Facebook, and a couple of them used to regularly use the oh god, I can't remember the guy's name. One of the royal families from Game of Thrones. Where the guy was going, "Winter is coming. Let's begin the meme wars."
Oh, okay. I know the template. I know the template that you're talking about, where he's sitting there on the sword and it's snowing all around him.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And
Jon Snow or something or other.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if it was him or his dad. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, and I didn't really care for it.
When we go to the backstage, I do have a couple suggestions for you. Just because I think it might be kind of fun, and it's something that I think you'd be able to get a few other folks besides myself to jump in with as well.
Yeah, that sounds good though. But alrighty, well, on that end, I will be ending it here pretty soon. Hope everybody has a somewhat decent week. Look at memes, learn to laugh, have a beer or two, and keep your head on a swivel, because apparently AuntQueefa is out and she stinks. Just to warn you.